catecholamine is highest during. So they draw it out. So that's technically correct, the way to write the question. But what they really are just asking you is the stress response is highest during. So whenever you can, if you get stumped on a question, throw out the fluff. Cover it up with your hand or.
Whenever you see whenever you see these words, or, equal to, those are exactly like you said. Those are fluff. Like
It's called a distractor.
they're called distractors. So for us, just like Vicky said, the stress response is highest during. It's enough of a question. But to be clear, the highest stress response or plasma concentration of catecholamines is highest during what? And then you should have gotten the answer from that. But because the question wasn't written properly, we had to throw it out. Okay?
It would have been clearer to you if catecholamines had been in there, or if that whole part was thrown out and the question was just, because that's what he taught you. When is the stress response highest? Right, and you would have got it right. That's what you need to know. That's what you need to know in practice. Okay?
Now, we also threw out, and that was an 82% fail. So that means that 82% of you actually got that incorrect. I'm waiting for Michael. That's I'm not going to run through it. I'm just doing the two there.
We can start with that one because I'll be here in a half hour.
Okay.
And they'll get it. So go ahead and start.
Right. So we'll start with number one.
So, number one, a major disadvantage of a high pressure, low volume endotracheal cuff is B. So why is that true? Does everybody understand why B is correct? Possible ischemic damage to the tracheal mucosa.
It doesn't conform to the trachea. It expands further, so that's why it may cause tracheal mucosa damage.
If it has too much what?
Pressure.
Correct. So if the pressure takes a large area is touching under high pressure, it's going to cause damage to the airway. When you have that high pressure, low volume, so that it doesn't have a high volume, then it's not as much of an area is going to touch, and so less damage therefore will occur. Okay?
No, I just wanted you to know the difference.
Okay.
The shape of the balloons. High pressure,
Low volume.
low volume. Low volume, no, high volume, low pressure. Okay. So, whenever you see a high-low tube, that's actually a good tube because it's high volume, low pressure. Okay? Does that make sense? This is high pressure, low volume, which is what you don't want.
For an extended amount of time. But in the operating room, it works well for us because only this spot's right here that where Tony put the arrow is what's touching. Whereas like an ICU, you have the endotracheal tube